Hello, my name is Jaru, and welcome to the Fan Art Showcase for December 2022. We've got quite a bit of art to look at today, over 100 pieces. Although I should warn you that I am still very tired from November, December. So if I'm a little lower energy than last month, or if I'm a little briefer in my remarks, don't take it personally. I'm just a very exhausted young lad. But without further ado, we've got some great art to look at. Let's see what we have. First up is this pretty hilarious meme image. It's a MatPat game theory-esque version of my Des is Chris thumbnail. It's actually really well made. I appreciate the detail work on the letters and the white outlines. Like this is a disturbingly accurate recreation of the game theory style. So well done there. I respect it. Thank you very much for sharing. Next is a really creative piece. This is Chris playing Des's guitar, with the idea being that this is the Chris from my thumbnail in my Chris is Des theory. So, because I had like the Des guitar kind of copy pasted over top of Chris, and they took that to be Chris playing the guitar. That's just a lot of fun. This is hand drawn. Always got to point it out because it's always impressive. Very good work. Very cool. Chris looks adorable. This is a lot of fun. Thank you very much for sharing. Another one, I think, from the same artist. This one is Chris after stabbing Azrael, because God only knows we need more art of Chris sad and Azrael dead. Especially in the holidays. But no, this is really great work. Very well done. Hand drawn again. Very expressive. Very good art style. I should point that out. You have very particular. It's not anime-esque. It's its own unique aesthetic, and I quite like it. Very expressive. It's not too chibi to be hard to take seriously, but it's not so like blatantly any particular type of style that it makes me like want to compare it to anything. So yeah, really good work. I quite like it. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh, another one from this artist. Okay, so this one is based, it's Dragon Susie holding the devil's knife, which she looks great. She looks fantastic. Very good. This is very, on model for Susie. This is because every artist has their own interpretation. If you remember last fan art showcase, we had Giga Chad Ultra Susie a few times, whereas this is a lot closer to what she actually looks like in game, or what she would look like if there was a Deltarune-esque anime music intro or anime intro video, or something like that. But yeah, no, always love Dragon Susie, and of course this is in reference to my Elements video where I argued that chaos and rudeness are elemental pairs, and they actually did a fan art of the little elemental circle symbol that I did in that video, so that's awesome. Or this might just be their own interpretation of it. Either way, it looks great. Thank you very much for sharing. I quite like this. Oh, more from Monstromania, I think is their name. I must have I forget the context in which I found all this art. I don't know if they linked it to me or if I just stumbled across their Reddit and just found all their work. Whatever the case, we've got more, and it's once again quite good. Okay, so this is the evolution of Chris and Azrael. So in the top left, you can see that Chris and Azrael they look very Undertale-esque, they're little baby forms, with Chris looking like Frisk, because it's my theory that Chris is the Deltarune version of Frisk. So that's great. And then and I love Chris's little leggings, or socks or whatever those are. I quite like those in the top left. Then we get a slightly older version of that where they're looking at each other smugly. I don't know. And then Azriel gets a huge growth spurt. Or no, Azriel's just riding on Chris's back. Okay, they're just being cutie pies. That's great. And then they get a little bit older. Chris is starting to look more like themselves, wearing their classic outfit. And Azriel's got, it's like an Azriel shirt with, or like the shirt is from Azriel, and it's like, that's why Rouse looks like that. Okay. Very cool looking Azriel. And then we see Chris after stabbing Azriel. You knew we had to get back to it. It's never too far away. And looks sufficiently tragic and sad. We've got some wispy darkness lines floating around them, very spooky. Blood everywhere, devil horns, perfect. And then lastly, we have Chris in the dark world, sad. You can see Azriel's white soul inside of Chris's red soul, and you can see the ghostly form of Azriel in the background there. Fantastic, very good stuff. Like I said, you're very good, very talented. I quite enjoy your art style, and the fact that this is hand drawn just makes it all the more impressive. So thank you very much for sharing. So, okay, this one is a very interesting one. So this is a fan art version of the Undisputed Truth album, but combined with the idea of the blade element that I discussed in my Deltarune, or my Elements video. And it featured is all the human characters, with Frisk on the left, Chris in the middle, and then Kara on the far right. And wow, ain't that spooky. Like, just, oof. Like, you never realize just how many of these human characters are terrifying until you look at it like this. This is really impressive. Really cool art style. Love the shading. The little yellow soul is an interesting touch. That's right, because Chris uses the yellow soul mode in the Svampton fight. Nice. And they're like much older. Like I was talking earlier about like on model or having your own artistic spin, and this is definitely a more artistic spin on it, with the characters being far more far taller, far lankier, far more well defined. It's actually just a lot closer to being an approximation of real humans, which makes sense, since this is fan art of partially a like kind of parody of a real life album cover. So that makes a lot of sense. I quite like this. This is so creative. Like I'm not familiar with the Undisputed Truth, but there is a deep irony in doing a Jaru fan art of something called The Undisputed Truth, when there's not a single thing I've said on my channel that isn't disputed in some way, shape, or form. I forget which channel it was, but someone even did like a debunk video on my Des is Chris video. I mean, it wasn't specifically about me, but it was pretty clearly about me. But that's besides the point. I took it all in good fun. It's, none of this is that important. But yeah, great fan art. Quite enjoy it. I love Chris's huge hair. The hair there, like all their hair looks good. I love Chris's hair in particular. Crazy looking. Looks like they look like they're ready to star in like a metal band from the 80s or something, like with the giant hair. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have a version, fan art of Des from my Des theory, with her deep down in the darker yet darker world, her saying it's dark, so dark, and her holding her pink save file. Oh, that's awesome. I quite like it. It's simplistic aesthetically, but it works very well. I love the aesthetic, like having the save point being this pink outline with the white center. like, I like that. That's a cool idea. Like, to make it feel more uniform. Like, yeah, everyone has the same kind of save files, but it's the flavor of it is different from person to person, with Des having a pink one. So yeah, that's great. I quite like this. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have another one from Brendan. Yeah, I'll just say Brendan. You'll remember this fella from last video. They had some crazy fan art. I joked about wondering if they were using like AI to generate their art because I was so impressed by it last time. They made quite a meme of that on Twitter. It's quite funny. But this time we've got the angel, and this is I think this is partially inspired by that other fan art that I got where the angel was interpreted to be a big tiger type creature. So this version of the character is it's like a blend of the tiger angel theory idea with the the final form of Azrael in Undertale. I can't, the hyper god of death. That's it. So yeah, it's like a blend of those two concepts. And then of course, as usual with this artist, like the background almost looks like the middle of a dark fountain, but like blue and crazy looking. And like, I don't know how they make their art, but it always looks insane. Very cool, very aesthetically pleasing. I actually think there's a few more variants of this particular art piece in my collection here, and we'll probably get to that in a minute. But for now, this piece, very cool. I love the concept. It's so trippy out of context. Like, this could be like a 70s like Beatles album cover or something like that. Or I don't know. It just kind of gives that vibe. Very cool. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have another Des fan art. This one, oh man, this is great. It's very much drawing inspiration from the Skies Forever Blue video, with like the part where the girl's falling down into the abyss, and I grossly mischaracterized the plot of the story to suit my nefarious theory crafting means. I jest, but no, this is in reference to the to that moment in the music video. And it's, instead of the girl, it's Des, and she's reaching out to her save point, which she can no longer reach because she's falling into the darker world. That's so awesome. Like, this image alone communicates why that music video works so well for my Des theory. Like, it's just so fascinating. Very cool, very odd. Find her on the side. And of course, we see the more tomboyish Des. I love the idea of Des, like, wearing, like, her baseball uniform, like, what she wears to go play baseball, but also having her ribbons on. Where it's like, yeah, I can be cool and have a baseball bat and also wear cute ribbons. I'm cool like that. Love it. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing. I really, really like this. Ooh, next up we have another Des fan art, and this is Des in the Dark World, dressed up very much like the character from Skies Forever Blue, but holding we see the text of "I am determined," and she's holding a save point in her hand to showcase that, but she's also holding it's like a blade of darkness. Oh, is this like supposed to be what her wiffle bat turned into? Ooh, that's a fun idea. It's been so long since this was submitted. I don't know if I asked any questions about, like, what this sword is. Like, is this the twisted sword? Is this something unique to Des? Is this her wiffle bat? Like, I don't know. Whatever it is, it looks epic. She looks epic. Just this whole design. And giving her hooved feet, it's like, that's such a good detail. Because the implication is that, yeah, all the holidays have hooves. They don't have human feet. So, but you never really see that communicated very well or much at all in fan art. It's usually cartoonified or just normal feet. So that's a great touch. That's paying attention to detail. And just wow, like just the texture work on this is incredible. Like this art style is insane. I love it. Oh, and of course the pink hair, the long flowing pink hair. Jesus Christ. Be still my heart. I love it. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have a sketch from Yunko, or not, Christ, Knight. I'm just going to call them Knight. A sketch from Knight. We'll see quite a few of their works in this video, I assure you. They never stop pumping them out. And it's a little sketch of Des. She's holding her, you can see like her big, like humongous ribbons on her hair and in the background. She's holding her save point. She's wearing the big dress, got the long hair, just looks really good. I'm sure right now, wherever they are, they're like, oh my god, I can't believe they showed this sketch art immediately after that super high resolution finished product art of Des. But don't worry, I love them both equally. All art is beautiful, and I'm always happy to see it. It's just the passion for it shines through, and that's more than enough to make me quite enchanted. So thank you very much for sharing. Des looks adorable here. Next, we have a pixel art style depiction of Des after she's fallen down into the dark world. And this is just crazy looking. Like, we see the guitar, we see the cavern stretching out into the darkness behind her. She's got a little knife to the side, presumably what she used to open up the dark fountain. And she's also just wearing like a big pink dress or robe of some kind with her pink ribbons on top, and her hair is this dark brown kind of bob going on thing, and we can't see her eyes. They're like shadowed in her bangs, and that's just such an intimidating and interesting aesthetic. Like, this is a very unique artistic choice. Yeah, I quite like it. And, you know, obviously Des is like a deer person, but now seeing like the artistic depiction of her with like the dark fur, I'm just thinking about like, you know, because, you know, people are always theorizing like, what race would, Sans be if he had skin? You know, I don't know if y'all seen fan art of that. People theorize about him being black, and I'm just thinking about Des and the Holiday family in general, and that would be cool to see fan art of that, of them like human and black. That'd be interesting. That'd be cool to see, because, like, you know, you don't see many black characters in general, you know, but also, like, even when you do see them, you usually see them like in very specific roles. Like, you rarely see them fill, like, you rarely see a Noelle, like if Noelle was like the equivalent, like if she was like a Noelle type character of like a very like easily spooked girl who is crushing super hard on a tougher girl, and she's super sweet and nice. It's like, that's an archetype that I very rarely see given to black characters. It's always given to some, like, I've seen versions of that story where like the Susie type character, the big tough strong one, that's been allowed to be a black character in some stories, but you rarely see like the Noelle type characters being black. I don't know, it's just an interesting thought, something that occurs to me right now. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. Be cool to see. Thank you very much for sharing. Me rambling about this sort of thing is probably going to get me in trouble or something, I don't know. But bottom line, you know, having diverse casting can make for some cool takes on character archetypes, and I think that's, you know, a good thing generally. I don't think that's a controversial stance to have. Next, we have we've got the Angel. This is from Alexander on Twitter. They've submitted a lot. Oh my god! So this is like a biblically accurate angel. but like a Deltarune version. So you've got the wings, you've got the halo, but the halo itself has a bunch of eyes, like specifically the eyes from the Dark World that we see in like the cliffs leading up to the castle town. And like they've got this like big scary skull shape, but like no eyes, just like a crazy looking, a big gash and a hole in their throat where you see a heart, and then like their body below the shoulders is just filled with more hearts and souls that they've claimed in order to gain their incredible godlike powers. And it's just like, Jesus, this is terrifying. This is a fantastic, like biblically accurate angel type interpretation, like the cosmic horror perspective on the Deltarune angel. That's very creative. I quite like that. Thank you very much for sharing. This is very cool. Next, we've got another one from Night. This is another Des. This one in just chilling on the light world in her adorable dress and ribbons with her long hair, just being an absolute cutie pie. Love it. Love the aesthetic. Love the art style. Just absolutely adorable. Thank you very much for sharing. And I believe we have another one here. Oh my gosh. And there's Chris saying, OMG, that's literally me. Oh my god. Which is just a massive meme on my Chris is Des video. OMG, that's literally me. That's hilarious. That's a top tier meme. Oh my god. Thank you very much for sharing. I quite like that. That's adorable and hilarious. Oh, we've got more fan art from Night. This is Chris and Rousey's first meeting. And we see Chris, we see just both of them being like, what? I love it. Their expressions, the scenario, just their giant eyes. They're more like, ah. I love it. This is fantastic. Hilarious. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is another one from Brendan, and it's the Jaruverse. Or it says Jarune, so like, instead of Deltarune, it's Jarune. And it's the Jaruverse expands. It's like the Avengers. Oh my god. This is another pitch for what the Jaruverse should be called. The Jarune. Like I think we had Deltarune last time, and this is just Jarune. Hilarious. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have Oberon Smog, just straight up the man, the myth, the legend. Very cool. It's a Sprite version. It's very much like a blending of, like, you very rarely see the Sprite edits of Oberon to look like this. Like, this actually looks like how he might look in the game. So that's a lot of fun. Although he is, you know, in my mind palace, he looks more like he has long pink hair, because long pink hair is epic and awesome. But no, this is still very cool, very impressive. I always love pixel art. There's something just so charming about it. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we've got some pretty funny like a meme interpretation of the Azrael death. So it's like a combination of Azrael and Yoshi in Smash Brothers, because Chris and Azrael played Super Smasher Fighters or Super Smash Fighters or whatever the Deltarune version is. And he's like, your up B is overpowered, as he like disintegrates like Thanos snapped him. I didn't want to go to college anyway. And then we see page 2 and oh my god. And so it's like Azrael's dust became Rousey, but then the transformation got hijacked by Lancer. You just got lancered, son. No, I'm alright, Chris. Let's go play Smashing Fighters and drink some Beppis. This is deranged. This is so... this is so just like nightmare fuel. Or it's not even nightmare fuel. It's just like, dang, someone spiked my soda. What is happening? Utter insanity. We have a Lancered, Yoshi'd, dead Azrael, Relsay amalgamation. Incredible. Only on the Jaru J channel do you get top tier memes like this. So deep into the memes, it's just madness. It's just utter insanity. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh, and here is that other version of this Tiger Angel image from earlier. This one, we're a little bit, like the edges have been scrunched in a little, and the outline is now more tiger print. And I think that's the only major difference. It's just that it has that border. But yeah, it makes it look also very cool. It makes it look even more like a poster, which your work in general looks like posters, which is absolutely a compliment. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing. I don't have much more to say on this. I probably should have just featured it with the other one, but whatever. Very cool. Very nice. Thank you very much for sharing. Here's another one from them. Very similar background, but it's Chris, who is now possessed by both Azrael and Des. And if I recall correctly, this is like a blending of their headcanon, of Brendan's headcanon, with my theories. So we see Azrael, who is possessing Chris, which is more from my section of the woods. But there's also Des there, and their own Sprite interpretation of Des. So that's very cool to see, a blonde Des. That's interesting. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, because Noelle's blonde. That makes sense. And she's got like a blue and white checkered outfit, and Chris has just a totally unique outfit with the devil horns. Yeah, this is very creative. Possessed, it says at the top. Or it says possessio. That would be funny. But yeah, no, very creative, very cool. I appreciate the combination, the original sprites with the theory stuff woven in. Very neat. Thank you very much for sharing. This one, it was a little hard for me to understand at first. This is from Proton Butt, something like that. And it's titled Angel Controlling Reality. So the idea is that when people look into the shadow crystals, they see the angel, and you can just barely make out the angel there in the back. And it's like a crepey looking angel. And in the middle, you can see the chapters of Deltarune all the way up to like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, all the way up to chapter 7. But it's a circle. Instead of being a timeline, it's a time circle, as the angel has the world trapped in a time loop. Wow, that is really creative. I quite like that. Oh my gosh, that's very cool. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is a very unique approach to portraying what it is that Jevil and Spampton saw. Very cool, very neat. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh my gosh. So this is based off of a conversation I think I had on Twitter, I think. I don't quite remember the context, but we were talking about how hilarious it would be if Birdley's dad was Gaster, because we don't actually know what Gaster originally looked like. So, and we don't know Birdley's last name. So maybe his dad is Gaster. And, when you actually look at him like that, you can kind of see how a bird-like character could have, become the second, the second face of the Mystery Man sprite. Because one person theorized that, what if it looks like an octopus? But this is basically theorizing, okay, what if it's a bird? I don't remember. I hate that I'm forgetting the exact context, because this theory actually was more compelling than I'm giving it credit for. Oh, I'm remembering now. Okay, so like the theory would go like, why is Birdley so obsessed with proving his intelligence? Well, it's because he's the child of a super genius scientist. He feels like he needs to be smart to live up to the intelligence of his brilliant, like, mad scientist father. So like that's a fun idea. In this specific fan art, we can see famous horror writer WD. He carries Birdley's shell around. Oh, because the Eggman, like, okay, this is working with the idea like, oh, Gaster's also the egg guy, and the egg guy gives eggs because he's a bird, and he that's hilarious, and he carries Birdley's egg around specifically. Birdley loves his weird dad and volunteers at the library to make him proud. Wow. Oh, and this is from Vex of the Void. I have this. I don't know if I actually have this written down as one of Knight's pieces. Let me fix that real quick, because that's not right. That's not from Knight. It says right up at the corner that this is from Vex. Yeah, that's a great point. If to any fan artists out there, if I ever feature your art on this channel and I credit the wrong artist, please let me know, because that's, I do my best to credit the correct people, but obviously when you have hundreds of fan art coming in and you're only one person trying to sort through it all, sometimes things get lost, get mixed up in the influx. So my apologies if I ever get things out of whack. So but yeah, great work by Vex. Birdley over here has a little Birdley pin on his shirt. I remember having a conversation about this on Twitter where people were like, because you can barely make out a blue and yellow like shape on Birdley's front left like portion of his shirt, and it's like, we were wondering what it was, and I theorized that it was either a pocket protector or like a miniature Birdley face, when I like or someone else might have postulated that it was a miniature Birdley face, and I concluded that I don't know if it is a real miniature Birdley face, but I now headcanon that it is, because that's hilarious and is very on brand for Birdley. So yeah. And then he's holding a book. Does it just say happy? Alrighty. Very cool. Thank you very much. I quite like this. Vex of Void, who is obviously the one who made this, because it says so right there in the title. I don't know why I got so confused. It's right there on the art piece. Anyway, thank you very much for sharing. Next, we actually have a follow-up piece to that other, to that Gaster is like a horror author piece from Vex. And these are like some of his books. And we see Happy Town, Meat Factory, Trouble Dingle, and Darker Yet Darker. And I think 2 or 3 of these are a reference to some unused soundtracks, like music tracks, that you can only access in Undertale through I forget what it's called, but it's like a special sound test room thing, and so it's like unused music. So the idea that it might be associated with Gaster in some way is really interesting, and the way that the Vex is interpreting here is that it's these are like books in the Deltarune world, like they're titles for books instead of titles for songs. And of course we have Darker Yet Darker, and these are all the stories written by author extraordinaire WD. That's great. That's a lot of fun. Thank you very much for sharing. I quite like that. My apologies for getting it mixed up regarding whose art was who. I don't know what happened to get those all confuzzled like that. Next, we have another piece from Knight. This is Oberon with long pink hair and even longer eyelashes. Oh my god. They were memeing on me. They were like, okay, you want long pink hair, Oberon? I'll give him the longest, pinkest, most fluffy hair imaginable. Oh my god, this is hilarious. I quite like it. It's quite the meme, but also great at the same time. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have a Sprite version of Chris when they're off to do their prank that gets Azriel killed. And it's them in Azriel's choir robe with the pink horns and the knife. The Jello knife, presumably. Oh my god. I'm never going to get over the Jello knife, because like I think even I am beginning to doubt the Jello knife. Oh my gosh. In my defense, no one else has any clue why the heck Chris was looking up Jello knives, so at least I gave it an explanation, even if it's not an amazing one. But yeah, no, this is great. This is really impressive sprite work. Very cool. And Chris being like, I think a tiny bit shorter than regular Chris is a nice touch as well. I think they're a little shorter. I might be imagining it. They feel a little shorter because it's just they're small on my screen. Regardless, very impressive work. Always liked sprite art. Thank you very much for sharing. Oof. Okay. This is pretty crazy. So this is another fan art piece based on a music album. So this is based off of the Daft Punk 2013 album, and also the ice and virus elements, which I linked together in my elements video. And I think the title for this piece was Virus, Ice, and Memories. And you can see that up in the top left there. And on the left, you can see Noelle representing the ice part of that, and she just looks great. And I love her hair. Her hair looks awesome. And then the virus side, with like, just looks crazy. Like, whoa. It's like a terrifying devil virus version half of Noelle, with the arrows looking very much like the arrow attacks that the Virocoons launch in chapter 2. Wow. This is just crazy. This is insane. And you can even tell that there's like a subtle art style shift between the Noelle, who's very crisp, very clean lines depicting her, and then the virus, it's like almost like you can almost count the polygons, or that's not even the right word. They're not polygons, but you can like make out like the bizarre digital texture of the piece. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks awesome and further sells the like computer virusy aesthetic of it. This is insane. I can't believe I have people like I'm inspiring fan art of this variety. This is mad. I mean, obviously, I should probably clarify with all of the fan art that I'm not really inspiring much of anything. Toby Fox, with his incredible art, incredible games, incredible characters, he's doing most of the legwork. I'm just tying some ideas together and saying, what if the character you already adore is also this? And then people make fan art of that. But that's, like, I'm honored to even do that much. So, yeah, very cool. Very nice. Quite like it. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have a comic from Night. I think it's like 6-part. So, as per usual, I'll just like present the comic as I would normally. So, here we go. First page, ... It hasn't always been like this. I used to be happy, but now I regret everything. Who even is that kid? Why do I not remember? What is happening to me? Wow. Very cool. A lot of fun. Very dark and gloomy comic about the poor fate of Des, who seems to be losing her mind a little bit. So that's unfortunate. Very good work. I always appreciate this like dramatic, sketchy style in the dark world. Yeah, a lot of fun. Love it whenever the artists do stuff like that. Very cool. This is a bit different from your usual stuff, Knight. I quite liked it. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, oh, we got another similar style. This one is Chris and Azrael together, and it's Chris with the white soul inside their red soul. Very cool. Again, love the sketchy style. Love like the glow effect of the heart. Yeah, just very cool. Simple piece, but very effective. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh, next we have a couple of pieces. This is I think the information is just on the sheet here, but it's like it's in reference to the idea of Spamton stealing Chris's soul, and they have a bunch of text on here. Oh my gosh, they're literally they're advertising for their fan game. That's hilarious. I mean, hey, you know, you gotta. I respect the hustle. Don't forget that I have a Patreon, guys. But no, very cool art. I love this aesthetic. Chris just looks cute as a button. Oh, and there's the strings that control them in the background. Red ones for Chris, green ones for Spamton. We've got a red soul inside of a yellow soul. That's cool. That's interesting. And then Chris is now wearing the Dealmaker glasses, and the glasses go staticky sometimes. Very cool. Okay, yeah, like this is just a lot of fun. I love the hairstyle on Chris. It's a very cool, very stylish. I don't know. I just quite like it. Very good. Oh, and it's called Spamus. Chris and Spamton, fantastic. And I think there's one more. Oh, yeah, and this is them. This is like a Sprite version of this character with with like some with staticky eyes, some with glasses. Yeah, very cool. Very. You clearly put a lot of effort into this. Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing, and best of luck with your fan game. Oh, there's more. On the outside, haha, it's me, Spamus. On the inside, no, Spamton, we are not giving that to Susie. Believe in what you want, Lightner. This is a one-time special deal, limited time only. Let me take back hyperlink blocked. Practically lost all control and is now left to suffer. Oh, it's Azrael. Azrael is also in there still, and he just has no power. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. I love it. Thank you very much for sharing. This is hilarious. Oh, we got another one from Knight titled Best Ship. And this is the swan boat with the duck version of the Thrash machine. This is, of course, in reference to the shipping tier list video I did. Hilarious. I love it. And you have a heart floating above, symbolizing, oh, they're in love, but then in a complete meme, Knight is like, oh, no, that's just Chris's soul hanging out. Very funny. Thank you very much for sharing. Ooh, here's another one from Brendan, and this is the double-decker dark fountain. So we have Des with her long pink hair. Oh, and you can see a bunch of Azrael's dust to the side. So this must be taking place in the closet dark fountain. Because, yeah, this is working off the theory, and I saw a lot of people suggesting this in the comments, that the Castletown Dark Fountain is the one that Des made, the Dark Fountain within a Dark Fountain, and that's why it's pure darkness, is because it's cutting down a second layer deep. It is an ultra dark fountain, in a way, a double-decker Dark Fountain, darkness within darkness. Very cool. Love the concept, and obviously the effects on Brendan's work always look stellar. Very cool. Very fun. Thank you very much for sharing, Brendan. Oh, we've got another depiction of Azrael's death. This one from Night, and it's a pixel art style, so that's a lot of fun. And we see Azrael's soul floating there, and then a pile of his dust with some blood. Because, of course, within my theories, monsters still turn into dust, but also have blood. So that makes sense. A pile of bloody dust. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing. That's a lot of fun. Ooh, here's a fun one from this person whose name I still can't pronounce, but who still makes incredible artwork. This is their headcanon, but that's inspired by my theories. We have Des over here in her overalls, the ribbons, and a pink shirt. She looks adorable, as well as Azrael in his jacket, looking preppy as all get out. In the Dark World, Azrael looks more like a knight, like a dark knight kind of figure, whereas Des gets her flowing white and pink dress from Skies Forever Blue. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. She looks great. They're big fans. Oh, and here's all the little details about this headcanon with them being fans of Dragon Ball Legends. They often sing Skies Forever Blue. Very cool. And they're like collabing on making a video game. Oh, and then Azrael witnessed Des's disappearance and feels guilty. How sad. This is awesome. I quite like this. Very cool. Very fun. I really like, obviously I love Des's Dark World hairstyle. I'm a sucker for long hair. But her Light World hairstyle, the fuzzy kind of bob, is also very cool. Yeah, I quite like that. Very fun. Thank you very much for sharing. You are very talented, as always. I've said everything I can. The shading, the lighting, the reflections on Azrael's armor, just the character designs, all really good. Thank you very much for sharing. Ooh, next we have from Will McKenzie on Twitter. Gaster, and Jesus Christ, he is terrifying. Like, what the heck? So you have this like black, almost skull mask, then this long, creepy, like white hair, and then like one horn, and then like another, I guess that's a broken horn, like he's wearing a broken mask over his true face, just hidden in the darkness. Very creepy, very scary. But also very cool. And of course, this is in reference to my theory that the bottom half of the Mystery Man sprite is what Gaster actually looks like. And this is a much grimmer, much scarier interpretation of that. So, very cool, very fun. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh, and then he gets a meme version with my desk sprite all over the place. Oh, and she's very polite. She's just hanging out. Okay, so, like, because the joke is that Des cut down to the same place that Gaster hangs out. And now he just has her hanging out. Des and Gaster, the buddy cop duo that the odd couple that you never realized you wanted to see, coming this Christmas. Hilarious. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have another one from Night, and this is the Chris and Spampton fusion. And Jesus Christ, is it terrifying. Oh my god. I didn't know that you're buy one, get one free, Chris, in reference to my Azrael theory. So yeah. Oh my god. This is a horrific amalgamation of the two characters. It works really well, like the eyes peering through the glass, the big creepy smile, the triangular shape of the head. Just, it works too well. Like, this works so well, and it's so unsettling and unpleasant. It's just very creepy, but I quite like it. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, from Lyra, we have Azrael's death. Because, you gotta love the Azrael's death. I clearly, that theory is compelling for people to be constantly drawing it. Or even if the theory isn't compelling, the idea, the dramatic potential of Azrael getting murdered and it being Chris's fault is so dramatic that people just really love to do fan art of it. This version, I think this is also hand drawn with like markers and stuff, which is very impressive. And we see Asriel like disintegrating. We see the darkness, I assume, boiling up from Chris creating a dark fountain. Ooh, I like the idea of like the same stab that Chris used to stab Asriel also created the dark fountain. Like that, I don't know how that would work or if it would make any sense in context, but it's so dramatic sounding that I like it. And we see Asriel bleeding and disintegrating because that's what monsters do. Yeah, a lot of fun. I quite like this. This is very cool. Thank you very much for sharing. It's a very unique art style, the hand-drawn elements, the colors, a lot of fun. Yeah, again, thank you very much. Okay, next we have this multi-layered, like there's multiple layers to this. So we're starting with the backmost layer, which has, I think that's Des. It's a little abstract, but I think it's meant to be Des. And then with the next layer, we get this crazy, like, vortex into the matrix, into the fabric of reality kind of background aesthetic, which is cool, very cool. And then there we are. We have the whole squad, and I think they were trying to fit in, like, because this is the Jaruverse. This is like a Jaruverse poster, and so they're trying to fit in. Yeah, they're trying to fit in everything. We have over on Smog, we have the drawing of Don't Forget in his hands that Sans would later make. We have Rousey with the flowy flowers. We have Chris with the Asriel soul. We have Dragon Susie, always a blast. We can see Bone Man in the corner saying, "I am here." I love it. We've got wacky looking Gaster. We have the angel in the very top, and of course we have the Chris Spamton fusion. Oh my god, this is so good. Thank you so much. This is so flattering. Oh, and I think I see something else. Oh yeah, right above Asriel and Rousey, you can see like a shadowy figure, and I think that's meant to be the ghostly presence of Asriel. So very good, very cool. I adore this, and I think there's one more. Yeah, the Jaruverse, smack dab on top of it all. Fantastic. Thank you so much for making this. You guys are crazy. I'm so flattered that I've been able to weave this narrative that people find engaging. It's really meaningful to me. It's very encouraging to me as a writer that I can, like, even if these aren't my characters, the fact that I can put them in situations that people find interesting, I feel bodes well for my future writing career. But yeah, thank you very much for sharing. This is awesome. Next, we have another piece from this fantastic artist. It's a little scene of Asriel and Des sneaking off to the bunker and taking a bunch of of random items to become darkeners, presumably. So that's pretty funny. And of course, the way this ties into my theories is that Chris is wearing their costume that they would later use to kill Asriel with the horns and the robes that Rousey wears. Yeah, this is fun. This is very cute. Des looks adorable. I think she's wearing like pajamas, I think, so that's fun. Yeah, a lot of fun little art. Thank you very much for sharing. Here's another one from Knight. This one is Your Choices Don't Matter. This is the main theme of the game, of course, and I've theorized that the way that the bosses, the secret bosses, have discovered this theme and this reality is through the shadow crystals, so makes sense. A lot of fun. The font on this text is pretty crazy. I don't know if that's hand-drawn or what, but it looks really cool. Yeah, a lot of fun. Cool piece. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is another one from Knight, and it's called They Didn't Mean It To. And this is actually in reference to another piece of fan art that I covered last time. where it said, but when their brother came closer, they accidentally murdered him. And Chris is just like, sorry. Oh my god. And you can see the little soul inside the soul. Hilarious. Oh, Knight is an utter meme lord. Thank you very much for sharing. Next is a piece from the Winterer, and it's Gaster holding save points. And dear God, does he look terrifying. Oh. So you have the classic Frisk golden save point, you have the pink Death save point, and then it's drawing attention to the fact that it seems like the yellow and pink glasses that Spamton wears may in fact be a reference to Gaster. And then on top of all that, this version of Gaster, I think, is meant to be the upside-down face on the Mystery Man sprite. So this is just multi-layered references to my theories. And on top of that, it just looks awesome. This art style is fantastic. The way that you use these, like, it's relatively simple, but you use shading and lighting and, like, color to just give it such deep, like, such depth and personality. Just very fun to look at. I mean, very scary, but also a very fun piece to look at. Yeah, very cool. Big fan. Thank you very much for sharing the Winterer. I think you might be a new artist for the channel. So, welcome aboard. Thank you very much. Oh, this. So, this artist, Arby, I believe, made some various Roaring Knight candidates. So these are very different. Like, what would different characters be like if they were the Roaring Knight? What would their crazy designs be? At the top left, we have Oberon Smog as the restless reptilian with the pink hair. Awesome. And turtles are hard. Yeah, true. Can confirm. Yeah, he looks great. But then we also have the cackling cavalier in the form of a crazy looking papyrus. Then we have the shadow sorcerer in the form of Gaster, who just looks insane. The glitchy texture breaking out of his head is extra, like, whoa, pretty crazy. Then we have the soulless savior, who I can only assume. Okay, so this is if Chris is the Roaring Knight. And they're trans mask, so that's fun. Very cool. And then we got a few more. Okay, we have Dewowing Kite. Wait, what? If Tebby is the Roaring Knight, which is just, oh my god, that's some Ed and Eddie type stuff. Like, that's hilarious. And then we have the Mistletoe Maiden, which is Noelle's mom, aka Christine Holiday, who's a total Karen, apparently. So that's pretty freaking funny. And then we have the Dastardly Duke, which is rules with a stolen soul, who just gains incredible luscious hair as a consequence of his ascension. That's so funny. And then, of course, we have the Puppet Parasite, who obviously it's Spamton, but I'm assuming this is a, like, Spamton possessing Chris situation, hence the Parasite bit. So, that's pretty fun. Or Spamton stealing Chris's soul, I should say. So, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I think that was all for that set of pictures. Very cool, very creative. Very imaginative. The Tebby one is especially hilarious. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have this piece by Joey, which is Oberon Smog, of course. And wow, this is crazy. He's got his chain whip. He's got little, like, pink, like, tassels, I guess? Or is that like darkness or something bursting out of him? I'm not sure what that is. It's cool. He's wearing white silvery armor with golden armbands. You've got the Deltarune logo on his shirt or his jacket or whatever that is. He's got a big long beard, long hair. It's like lavender in color. And of course he's got a big scar across his eye. and 2 different colored eyes at that. One's yellow, one's like white. Wow, this is very creative. This is a very unique Oberon Smog design. I like it. Awesome. Thank you very much, Joey. Thank you very much for sharing. Very cool. Oh, and he's got a little dagger on his side for, of course, creating dark fountains. Lots of fun detail. Very fun. Next, we have the cover for a theoretical comic by this hard-to-pronounce artist. And we have, it's just a comic called Deltarune Brother. And we have Azrael, of course, and Chris. And, I don't know if it's intentional, but the way the background has like a red outline followed by a white one inside the red one, I feel like is meant to foreshadow the whole Chris absorbing Azrael's soul theory, and I assume that's what this comic would be about. But yeah, very fun. Always love your art style. Lanky Chris is always a delight, and Azrael looks unreasonably cool. He looks like the Doctor from Doctor Who. Like, it's pretty funny. Funny in a cool way. Like, he looks pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, very nice. Thank you very much for sharing. Another one from Night. This is another Oberon Smog design. Going for maximum creepiness with this one. Very like in shadow, very mysterious, kind of reminiscent of how Undyne appeared when we first met her on top of that cliff. And in a unique spin, instead of the pink hair, we have like a yellowish dark brown combo, like a muddy blonde kind of aesthetic, I guess would be the closest comparison. Very unique, very cool. I quite like it. It feels like if Oberon Smog was in a fighting game, this would be one of his palette swaps. It's like Shadow Oberon. It's like Shadow Dio from the JoJo's fighting game. That's hilarious. Awesome though. Very fun. Very cool. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one is crazy and super creative. So this is Oberon Smog as a Pokemon trainer by Paulo, I think is their name, or Grams, something like that. And so, okay, the Pokemon Oberon's rocking are Wheezing, I think, and then the big turtle. He's the later turtle. Obviously, I'm not very up to date with Pokemon, so I might be struggling a little bit to recognize some of these. I mean, I recognize all of them. I don't know their names though. But so we have like a poison one, a water type one, and then a something else. I wonder if that's. I wish I was better at Pokemon. I'd probably understand this combination better. Because it makes sense to have a turtle, because he's a turtle. It makes sense to have the Wheezing, because it emits a bunch of gas and like smog, which is what Oberon does. And then you have the little cute thing who maybe that's like a fairy or some other thing. My lack of deep Pokemon knowledge betrays me. But then when we just look at Oberon himself, he looks so cool. I love this with like the stubby like turtle legs and the big bulky shell and the long crazy hair. And we're going with like the underbite, like the lower portion of a helmet aesthetic we've seen a few times, and that's always fun. And of course he's got his massive crazy looking hammer. Oh wait, is the little doodad holding the hammer? Is that, or just now I'm a little curious. It's like, is that Oberon's hammer being held by the little cute thing, or is that does the little cute thing always carry a hammer anyway, and that's why you chose it because that's why it's a reference to Oberon because this Pokemon uses a hammer. That might be it. I'm not sure though. And of course we've got the Deltarune symbol on Oberon's chest. This is just a lot of fun. And I just love this redesign for Oberon, like this reinterpretation. Very cool, very creative. And I think this is another hand-drawn and it just looks so good. Like the sharp lines and then like the scratchy shading in between the lines. It's just really impressive, actually. It's like you show such confidence in your lines. I don't know, it's just very cool. Like, there's so much clear, like, the more I stare at the little details, the more blatant artistic know-how is on display here. And that's just a lot of fun to see. It's very awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. Ooh, next we have another one from Brendan, and oof, this is just crazy. Like, the crazy, like, terrifying red and black background, the sword with its like leaving this trail of lines and cross marks that crosses through the air, Chris having this just crazy like harsh, it's like his design is fairly simple with like white outlines with black interior, but then the shading is this red and white mixture of lines. And then the eye itself has this like the whirlwind of color around it, as well, of course, the soul in the middle with Azrael's soul within. This is just so creative. This is very artistic. Like, you had a very particular style you wanted to go for with this, and I very much appreciate it. This looks epic. I love it. Very cool. Very, very fun. Thank you very much for sharing. And this is another one from Brendan. This time it's memeing on me talking about thinking that his art looked too good and thinking like, oh, maybe it was made with an AI. I am the AI sent to destroy Mr. Dubious with fan art. Mwahaha. Oh my god. And a little robot box and like Oberon over here with like the angry, like, oh my god, this is hilarious. But even though it's hilarious, like, Oberon still looks ridiculously high resolution and the background is insane. Like, even when you're not trying, you're making crazy art. Oh my god, thank you very much for sharing. This is great. Ooh, this is another new one, I believe. This is Des, obviously. She has devil wings because she's like an opposite to Noelle, who's referred to as an angel. She uses fire magic instead of Noelle's ice magic. She has the dark mantle, or whatever it's called. The shadow mantle is the term you're looking for. And there's even shadow crystals laid within the shadow mantle, which is cool. And she's got like this upside down orange heart symbol on her brown dress. Like, this is a very unique design for Noelle. Oh, and she's got a little earring on her antler. That's fun. Awesome. This is very cool. I appreciate this. And just from looking at it, it almost looks like you did a hand-drawn sketch and then used that as a template from which you drew this in a like a computer program, if I'm understanding this correctly. But yeah, very cool. Oh, and of course she's holding her pink safe point in her hands. Can't miss that. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing. I very much appreciate the effort you clearly went through to make this. Yeah, very fun. Thank you very much. Here's one from Angel Dust, and it's Chris after killing Azrael. I did this instead of math notes. Yeah, it's clearly hand-drawn. Chris has like the little horns in the Rousey outfit, the bloody knife, Azrael's soul, a little bit of dust and blood. But like, obviously, the most interesting detail is Chris's crazy long noodle arms. They look hilarious. I love it. Oh my gosh. I mean, for something made in your, like, as a doodle in your math book when you should have been doing your math, you should pay attention. Unless it says meth. If that says meth, then okay, that's fair enough. You shouldn't do meth. But you should do math. Math is useful. Even though the teachers do a terrible job of explaining why it's useful. Believe it or not, it is actually interesting, and it helps you better understand the world. around you, which is always good. I digress. Fantastic piece of art. Very cool. Just very, very cute. Thank you very much for sharing. Here's one from Top Hat Goose on Twitter, and it's rules with an egg, saying Eggeth. And I think this was inspired by me posting this image. I'll throw it on screen for those on YouTube who haven't seen it. But it's me talking about how rules is actually a thumbnail of me talking about rules being Gaster. Is it a meme? Is it unironic? Time shall tell. But I think that's what this fan art is referencing. And it's like, okay, so rules is Gaster, and therefore rules is also the egg guy. And he's just saying Eggeth. And I just love how Johnny Bravo epic looking you made rules, like with this crazy flared collar, and like he's like super, like he's got that Johnny Bravo torso, and then he's got like a trench coat flaring out. It's like he looks way too cool to be looking like for rules of all people. Oh my god, I love it. Thank you very much for sharing. This is a really fun piece. I didn't realize how bloody hilarious rules card is when you make him look like a Giga Chad. Like, that's hilarious. I love it. Oh, and this is another fan art based off that rules tweet I made, which is him on the phone, presumably contacted by, or maybe it's him contacting Spampton because he's the guy on the phone. Very interesting, and it's like he looks more like Gaster than usual. Very funny, very very silly. Oh my gosh. Oh, my mouth is hurting from smiling. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much for sharing, Knight, as always. Oh, and here's a follow-up to that piece. You're a puppeteth, by the way. Rules! You chaotic evil punk! Why would you do that to poor Spampton? Hilarious. Oh my gosh, is there any more? No, okay, that was it for that series, but that's hilarious. Thank you very much, as always. Here is another artist. I think we might have had them before. I don't remember now. This might be a new one too. Either way, welcome. And it's Dragon Susie receiving a gift from Noelle. So obviously it's primarily a reference to my theory in the form of it being Dragon Susie. And this is just so adorable. I mean, everything of this couple is always adorable. But I love the Susie design here. Like the big prominent fangs, the big horns, obviously the wings and the tail. Dragon Susie is best Susie, of course, and I love what you did with it. And I appreciate the shirt detail too. Not many people notice that Susie has this like blue shirt with a white stripe in the middle, which is an interest because she's always wearing a jacket. Like, I didn't notice it until I did my Sprite edits, until I really looked closely at her Sprite. But that's a good catch. So yeah, and obviously you're clearly very talented. Like this art style is just really solid. And I'm not sure, but this might be hand drawn. Not sure on that one. Nah, it's probably not hand-drawn. Maybe? I don't know. Either way, looks great. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh, here's another one from Brendan, and it's Dragon Susie. She's got a big glowing red eye, crazy silly face, big dragon wings. Her hand is on fire, and oh my god, it's like a combination of, it's like if Derpy Susie went Super Saiyan or something. It's this combination of epicness and comedy. Awesome. I love it. Thank you very much for sharing, as always, Brendan. Your work is ridiculous. Just the shading, the texture, and it almost looks like there's a face or something in the shadow of her wing. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's Jevil or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, Oh, and like the crazy smoggy sky above. Like, God, you put so much effort even into your sillier drawings, Brendan. It's crazy. Very cool, regardless. Thank you very much for sharing. Here's a piece by Iron Clark on Twitter, and I definitely don't remember the context for this at all, but I think it was something along the lines of them turning something or another into items. Like maybe it was turning YouTubers into items, or turning theories into items, or turning games into items. I don't quite recall now. But whatever the specifics were, they tagged me and mentioned me, and I think it was meant. This is meant to reference. Either it was, I don't remember. This might have been a piece where they were like, "I'm not sure if this is fan art or not, but I'm going to tag you anyway," and I included it. Yeah, I don't quite remember the specifics. Either way, very well made, very cool looking. We've got a cool background with like a sword and shield, of course. But the book itself, it's like got a leather binding to keep it shut. It's got the Deltarune symbol on the front with a big white pearl in the middle. Yeah, this is very cool. It's like if this was the book that was telling the story of Deltarune, like then this is what it would look like, and like that's just really cool. A lot of fun. I don't know if it qualifies as fan art because I don't remember anything about this, like the context of this piece. So that's on me. But it's very well made regardless. Thank you very much for sharing. This is another piece from the Winterer, who just has... God, your art style is fantastic. You're so good. And this is another reference to my Gaster, rules card as Gaster thumbnail. And there was them pointing out that in this edit, it makes Gaster look like an ice cream. And it's Sans memeing, being like, man, they really nailed my look, huh? This is unbelievably creative and funny and well made and in character. This is literally what Sans would say. Amazing. This is fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing. And this is one by Ginger, and it's a meme version of the thumbnail that I made. This one is The Truth About Rules Card. Bum bum bum. Oh my god. A game theory-esque. Except this one is actually like, more in my format, what with the with the blue hearts and stuff on the corners. Very funny, very cute. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh, here's another one. A very similar format. This one memeing on my desk theory, with this one being The Truth About Des, with Chris pointing at the guitar. Very funny, and I think I can make out the background is like the blue skies forever, and like the other one had rules card in the background. Yeah, very fun. Thank you once again. Do we have any more from... Okay, that's all from Ginger for the moment. But we're not done with meme thumbnails. Here's one from Fallen Gang. What the WTF is C-Round? Evil, edible, nuclear warlord? I don't know if this is referencing anything in particular, or if it's just a massive meme on how clickbaity some of my thumbnails have become, but either way, it's hilarious. Yeah, C-Round is an unending mystery of a character, truly terrifying in the scope of its power. Thank you very much. I think we have another one. Okay, yeah. Is Queen Karen 2.0? And I assume this is Karen from SpongeBob. And that's just hilarious, considering that they do actually have like some character design elements in common. So that's kind of hilarious. Very funny. Okay, yeah, that's it from Fallen Gang for the moment. But yeah, very funny. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's a lot. So this is random sketches by this artist, and there's a lot to read through. The Chris, so let's start with just the character designs. Chris looks very cool. It's them in their after killing Azrael outfit. They're crying. The knife is bloody. Very cool. Then there's Oberon, who just looks epic. He looks like he's dashing after the heroes for some reason. Give his prince back. We got Chris hugging Ralsei. And Ralsei being flummoxed by it. Up at the top, I clearly just been giving out the weird route. Oopsies. We got the soul within the soul. Will their identity be revealed in the end? Dun dun dun. Presumably the identity being maybe the riverboat person? Maybe? And then we have Ralsei plus Chris equals Chris being soulless, and then Ralsei ascending to become Hyper God of Death Azrael, I think. On the weird route, Ralsei absorbs Chris's soul to save his friends, which results in corrupted Azrael's takeover. He not only has the power of their combined soul, but the power of Ralsei too, which makes him almost invincible. His plan is to kill the angel while also replacing it with a new one, in the form of Noel. First, he wants the knight to become his ally, but he refuses because he wants Ralsei back. Wow! That's a crazy bit of plot twist. That's awesome. I would love that if that happened in the weird route. Like, just totally swerve into like a crazy alternate version of Hyper God of Death, Azrael. Like, but a total, like, arriving at a similar place through a drastically different circumstance. That's a lot of fun. I love that concept. That's very interesting. Like, yeah, that's just fun. And then we see Noel as an angel with the power of a soul. Which is, again, probably, whatchamacallit, weird route, Noel. And then the bottom left, I think those are Des and... Okay, I think this is in reference to that other fan art that we saw last month, which was the Darkner Des and the Soulless Des. I think that's the concept there at the bottom. Wow, that was a lot. And of course, this is all hand-drawn because you're insane. Very cool. I love all of this. This is all just great. I love your little idea for like how like we could get a Hyper God of Death Azrael like variant in the weird route. Like, that's just so fun. Like, I would love to see that. Very cool. Very creative. Thank you so much for sharing. This is awesome. Oh, here's another Oberon design from Knight. This is like a continuation of that first design in that we have another blonde Oberon, but it's like they're ascending, like they're becoming Super Saiyan 3 Oberon with even longer hair that glows. I love it. Very cool, very creative. I wonder what the inspiration was for the blonde look. I mean, I'm not complaining. Blonde hair looks pretty awesome. But yeah, very cool, very unique. Thank you, as always, Knight. Oh, wow. This is a really good one. Like, this is... Wow. This is fine. What if it could get darker than dark? Oh, this is a multi-part thing. Or, oh, there's just two variants on it. So here's the first variant. What if it could get darker than dark? We have Des in her pink dress, playing guitar, maybe crying, I think. And the text, find her on the ground. Very beautiful. Like, this is like the colors, the shading, the lighting, just everything about this is incredibly well made. Like, you are clearly very, very talented. I love it. It's really cool. And then we get a variant, which is her face censored, as if people are slowly forgetting her or something. Or she's forgetting herself, maybe. Either way, sad, very sad. Beautiful art. Very much incredible that you would make something like this for me. So thank you very much for sharing. Very good. Very, very good. Here's a piece from Joey, and it's the Knight candidates. And so in the top left, you can see like Gaster is the one doing the presentation. Okay, so like you get different ranks. We see Alvin on the left, who's A tier because he's hilarious, and they're like holding like a wine, like it's like sacramental wine or grape juice or whatever is what he's holding. You can see Toby on the ground there, who's S tier. This is all in reference to my knight, who is the roaring knight tier list thing that I did, I think. And Toby is of course S tier on the bottom there, and then we have Rules, who's just ecstatic that he got B tier, seeing as how it doesn't make any sense that he got ranked this high. Then we can in the second panel we can make out Kara now, who has A tier, I think, as a knight candidate, which is very fun. And I think Gaster might be wearing a headband that says B tier or something like that. But then, most importantly of all, the last three panels are about them awarding Oberon Smog, who has arrived with a very, very cool design. I think this is very reminiscent of one of those other designs we saw earlier with, I think it might be the same artist. I don't remember now. My memory is very bad. But it's them awarding to Oberon Smog the #1 crown as the best knight candidate, which is super adorable. And he's crying. That's adorable. This is very cute, very precious. It's hand-drawn, and it's very flattering to me as a theorist to suggest that my Oberon theory is #1. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. This is precious. I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for sharing. Oof. Okay, Knight decided to go a little darker on this one. This is Azrael bleeding, and it's him saying, "Everybody bleeds," right? Or it's the Susie quote. Everybody bleeds. Oh no. Susie's saying everybody bleeds right to Chris. Ooh. I hadn't even considered that might hit a little too hard for them, of all people. Oh my god. Yeah, and of course. Oh, and Azrael has this has a scarf, a red scarf, that's a nice detail because it's like, yeah, Rouse had to get a scarf from somewhere. Why not from Azrael? Very cool, very grim, very bloody. I'm probably gonna move along so I don't trigger anyone anyone watching at home by sticking on this for too long. So I'm gonna move right along. But this is very well made, very cool. I appreciate it very much, Knight. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have a few more from Knight. These are Bone Man's new forms. Bone Man's been off on a training arc, and he's assumed some new forms, I assume. This is, okay, so Bone Man is small and cute, of course, obviously, and he uses the ribbons as hands to interact with things. And that's so fun. That's so creative. Like, that's the sort of thing you would expect from a Darkener, like a really creative Darkener design. Like, that's just really fun. I love that. But then we get a second form, and this is Bone Man, but more puppet. In that, they're more Doc Ock-esque now, but they can't control the ribbons. Instead of being like hands, they're out of their control. Also kind of like Doc Ock in that Spider-Man movie. But don't worry, guys. They're still cute. Adorable. Very fun. Very creative. I love it. This is very cute. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much for sharing, Knight. Here's another piece from Alexander, and this is a Jaru avatar concept, which, yeah, very cool. I love that. The beard, the ponytail, the glasses. Very cool. Very fun. I love the little gem in the forehead. That's cute. Yeah, at some point I'm probably going to have to get an avatar that's not Ganondorf, just for copyright reasons. Maybe not. Maybe I won't have to, but Nintendo tends to be pretty stingy with their licenses. So I think that's what I've talked about this on Twitter, and I think that's what Alexander's referencing here. So, yeah, very cool, very nice. Thank you very much for sharing. I quite like this. Oh, and I think this is, again, hand-drawn with pen. Madman. Thank you very much. You're very talented. Next, we have another piece from Lyra, and it's Des about to bonk Chris. Okay, not only is the context funny, and I love the little angry symbols in the air right there, but Des just looks freaking precious. The fantastic pink dress, the super colorful, like Christmas-themed wiffle bat, and then like the multicolored ribbons in her antlers, and the long black hair. Fantastic design. And of course, this is all on paper, hand drawn again. Y'all are crazy. How can y'all do stuff without an undo button? Oh my gosh. Very cool, very lovely. Thank you so much for sharing. I very much like it. I really like Des's character design and concept that we've generated. And here's a follow-up to that Jaru avatar concept that I mentioned earlier. I think they actually asked me, like, what would the colors be that I would want? And I mentioned red hair with gray skin as being, like, what I would want for my avatar. And clearly they went ahead with that. And I think they did that thing where they put the hand draw drawing into an art program and then redid it in digital. Very cool. The anime-esque reflective shining glasses is a fun touch. Having like is it like a shadow crystal on my forehead? That's fun. That's a fun idea. I quite like this concept for an avatar, something like this. Very cool. Love it a lot. Thank you very much for sharing, Alex. I think I very much like the art direction you're going with for my avatar. I think it's very cool. Next is another one from Brendan, and this one's another Chris after killing Azrael piece with the text, "You murdered me," and like a chalky, like spooky text on the side. Very cool. And of course, red and white are prominent colors throughout the background and even in the border. Very fun. But of course, the main piece here is that we see in the reflection of a bloody knife, which is just awesome. We see Chris, who now has Azrael's soul inside them, and wow, just a glowing red eye, crazy gray hair. That's a unique color for Chris's hair. I'm not opposed. It looks cool. But yeah, very cool. You're very talented, Brendan. I don't know if anyone's ever told you this. But you are very talented. I'm very flattered by you making all this art for me. It's very cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, and here's a variant on that without the border, a little bit more simple, a little less effects, and Chris looks a little less scary and a little more sad, which makes sense. Still very cool. It almost looks like it's raining. I don't know if that was the effect you were going through or if that's like the dust from the soul. That might be what it actually is. Either way, very cool. I love the lens flare on Chris's eye. That's a nice touch. Yeah, very cool. Thank you very much. Ooh, okay. This is another one from Night, and it's Sans versus the Angel. And I think it's outside the bunker. It's very dark. Yeah, I think it's outside the bunker, though, and it's Sans about to fight the Angel, because that was what I talked about in my theory. Best of luck, my dude. You deserve a happier ending than you ended up with. Very cool. The Angel design is very sleek as well. A lot of fun. Knight is always trying to just drown me in fan art. It's very much appreciated. Very flattering. Absolutely. Very cool. Thank you very much for sharing. Oh, we've got more meme thumbnails from Ginger. The truth about Rouse. Yeah. Yeah, just another game theory-esque variant on my thumbnails. And this is based off of, obviously, my Rouse theory. Very fun, very cute. Thank you very much for sharing. Ooh, here's a fun one by Des. Or not by Des. This is Des, and it's by Night. And it's Des, and the text says, "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here." I don't know who that's supposed to be. Maybe that's Des, or maybe that's Gaster. I'm not sure. Either way, very cool, staticky background. And then, of course, the main piece is Des herself, who just looks fantastic. I love the pink dress, love the long hair, crazy antlers, hair covering her face, because this is a very sad sequence, a very sad scene. Just fantastic piece. Very cool, very, like, you clearly went hard on this. Just a lot of fun. Thank you so much for sharing. This is just fantastic. And here's another piece from Night, and we see the upside down mystery man, and then a sketched rules in the back with the text, "I'm just standing here because Jaru hasn't released the rules theoryeth yet." Oh my gosh, just another ridiculous BB bit from from Night. Very cute, very funny, very big fan. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have another piece from Nope, not gonna try to pronounce that. And this one's a little comic with Sads. Hello, ma'am. Would you happen to know anyone by the name of Susie? Susie. Oh man, this is such a great, like, there's so much storytelling here, because it's like, he's clearly forgotten. Oh, this is so sad. Oh, he's forgotten, like, the details, but then it's the Goner clan person, and they're like, Susie. This is so cool. This is such, like, a deep cut. Like, if you're not familiar with the little Easter eggs in Undertale, as well as my theories, then this wouldn't make much sense. But yeah, very cool. I quite like it. And these little, like, chibi characters are quite cute as well. Thank you very much for sharing. This is quite good. This is probably one of your better pieces that you've submitted. Great piece. Thank you very much for sharing. Next, we have another one from Lucas. And this one, we have Dragon Susie in the top and in the bottom left, as well as Bone Man in the bottom right. Very fun. This is another hand-drawn, I can tell. Very cool. Awesome. Two different variants. Susie's got, like, some devil horn, not devil horns, but like devil hair or something fancy like that happening in the bottom left. I don't know. Whatever's going on, it's quite cool. And of course, Bone Man looks dapper and adorable as always. Very fun. Is there a follow-up? There sure is. And there's a follow-up with another Dragon Susie just looking absolutely dastardly. Adorable. I love it. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much for sharing, Lucas. I quite enjoyed these. Next, we have another one from Joey. This one, we have the Roaring Knight. So, okay, there's a lot to break down here. So on the left, we see the Roaring Knight standing behind King, with them being side by side to show just how bloody huge the knight is. So that's terrifying. God, he looks like the Lich from Adventure Time, which is pretty scary. And then I think... Okay, he's blind in his right eye. Ooh, interesting. He has a shadow crystal on his chest plate in addition to the DELTARUNE symbol. He has a crazy looking helmet that almost looks like a... Oh, I don't know, what does that remind me of? Like a plague doctor mask. That's fun. The Vanta Blade. Ooh, I wonder what that's in reference to. Let's see. It creates tears to travel between the dark and light worlds. Okay, that's fun. And this is like a rainbow, like, slice between light and dark. That's fun. That's really creative. And of course, it can be used to create dark fountains as well, as you can see. And then down here, you get a hammer from fighting him. Oh, okay. So this is like when he reverts back into his hammer form, it's like a weapon for Susie or something, and this is what you get. That's fun. That's really creative. And of course, he has his chain spear weapon thing. Oh, and here's the armor that you obtain from sparing, some sort of like pauldrons or shin guards, something like that. Very cool. A lot of fun. And of course, this is once again hand drawn, which is always impressive. Very cool. Thank you so much, Joey, for submitting. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun to look at. Thank you so much. Next, we got another one from Knight. This one is the Fun Gang. We see Ralsei on the left with some golden flowers creeping up, hinting at his true nature. And then we have Chris in the middle with Azriel's soul inside of theirs, glowing from within, looking terrifying. And then, of course, we have Dragon Susie on the right with her massive dragon wings. Fantastic. Very good. This is just such a fun art style. I love the glow and the glow effects and the lighting and shading and the character designs. Just so much fun. Thank you very much for sharing, Knight. Next, we have a little GIF from Billy Boggs Chavez, which is the same channel that made those theme tracks for me. Oh, in fact, I've just now remembered, I might get to it in this video still, but he actually made a new intro theme for me to use at the start of videos. I might have actually used it at the start of this video, in fact. If so, then if I might talk about it later, but if I don't, big shout outs to them. A link to their channel and the full theme will be in the description, of course. They are very talented. But back to this piece, we have, it's Jaru standing by the fire with my red hair or orange hair, and then this like animated fire with some snow in the background, and you can just barely, on my screen, I can barely make it out. Let me try zooming in. Okay, yeah, now that I've zoomed in, you can see there's a little Chris wearing, their little devil horns. You got the white soul inside the red soul. You've got the angel Deltarune symbol. Oh, a couple of these are hard for me to make out. I'm not sure what some of that. I see a shadow crystal. I see Sans bleeding. I see a Spamton. I see Des. I see Gaster. And then I see the Undertale Deltarune, like parallel the timelines thing. I'm just trying to figure out what those two in the middle are. Oh, one of them's Oberon Smog, of course. The one to the left of the Shadow Crystal. Nice. That's awesome. And then the one between Oberon and the Angel, I'm not quite sure what that one is. I'll have to ask him. I'm sure he'll be down in the comments and he'll inform us what that is. But either way, this is a fantastic piece. A lot of fun to analyze. And all the little knickknacks above the fire representing my theories is such a fun touch. Thank you very much for sharing, Billy. And of course, thank you for all of the contributions you've made to my channel. Next, we've got another Dragon Susie from Knight. Oh man, love the shading, love the big leathery wings, yellow eyes, faintly glowing. So much fun, and Susie looks so done with whatever's happening. A lot of fun, very cute, very cool as well. A lot of work clearly went into this. Thank you so much for sharing, Knight. You are ridiculous. Oh, here's another pixel art piece from Knight. This is the third Azriel's Death piece. There's actually probably been more, but this is the third piece that I've labeled Azriel's Death in, in my files. And you see the splatted Azriel there on the ground with the devil horns, and then their soul floating above. This is the most comedic depiction of this scene that I've seen in a while. So that's pretty hilarious. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh my god, this is hilarious. So this is a little like meme clip show video thing that part trapezoid. Yeah, part rapazoid made, and it's Jaru's reaction to his theories being true, and it's like a little meme clip with this audio in the back. Oh my god, this is hilarious. I'll probably link, if there's a place to link it to. I don't remember off the top of my head if there is. I don't think there is. I think it's just on their Twitter. Okay, well, since it's not a full, I'll try to remember to link their Twitter, or the tweet that they made. Or actually, it's on screen, so you can just go to their Twitter if you want to see the full clip yourself. Hilarious. This is so funny. Oh my god. Thank you so much for sharing. Here's another Bone Man from Night. Just looking adorable as always with their giant ribbon arms, looking like a Christmas ornament. Adorable. I love the colors and the shading on this one. This one, it's so bright and cheerful, and the green Bone Man's a nice touch. Very fun. Thank you very much for sharing, Night. Oh, okay. So this one, I won't be showing the full... I won't be showing it in this video because it has its own video, but there's a Remember Me Deltarune Des animatic by the Winterer on their YouTube channel, and it's an animation set to a cover of Remember Me from Coco, and it's like the animation is of Des in the dark world playing the song, remembering Noel, things like that. It's really well made, and it's really flattering to see something like this. I don't think they did the cover. I think they just did the animation. But either way, very cool, very flattered to see something like that. Thank you so much for sharing. This was quite the honor, quite the amazing Christmas present, I must say, when I saw this. It's very cool, very emotional too, just by the nature of the song. I highly recommend y'all go check it out. Link will be down in the description. Thank you so much again. Next, we have another Des from Night, and this one is, a lot more intense. So it says, "I will not forgive you" over and over again. The background, some static, her face is shattered, but then of course we see that it's Des with her gorgeous long hair and dress, just looking fantastic, but also obviously it's a very sad, spooky piece. Yeah, this is fantastic. I adore this. Des looks amazing. The scenario looks great. It's very spooky, very fun. A lot of just really talented work. You're ridiculously good at this stuff, Night. Oh my god, I don't deserve even a percentage, even a tiny fraction of the amount of art that you throw my way. Thank you so much. Next, oh god, this one's also from Night, and it's Jaru Spampton, and it kind of just speaks for itself, doesn't it? Jesus Christ, what an abomination. This is simultaneously really cool and really impressive, but also a sin against God, and I think I might have just lost my soul from looking into its eyes. So, easy come, easy go, I guess. This is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Night. You cursed little goblin. Next, we have one from someone. You can see there, Galax, I guess. And it's Jaru Loves Susie. Oh my gosh, it's so adorable. This whole thing is so precious. It's just a giant, Wind Waker style Ganondorf being like, oh, holding the little, Susie plush. Oh my god. I think this is in reference to my reactions to Susie during the lore playthrough, if I recall correctly. Oh my god, this piece really warmed my heart the first time I saw it, and now as well. It's just so cute, and it represents I adore Susie. She's so precious. Or maybe this is in reference to my reaction to update that we got where Susie was like leaning on the table at the diner and she looked so precious. I don't know. I don't remember. Point is, Jaru finds Susie quite adorable, and this represents that. And it's an amazing piece of art. There's shading, there's colors, the expressions are on point. Just really good. Thank you so much for sharing. Holy cow. So here's like a fully realized, colored, just crazy version of this person's Azrael and Des design. Holy cow, they look so awesome. Des looks precious. I love like the power. I love the dress. Oh my god. And then of course Azrael's there too, looking cool as can be. And having his cape be the same color as his shirt or the same as his Light World shirt is a nice touch. I quite like that. And we got all these like colorful like echoes behind them. That's just awesome. I love this. This is so good. Oh, thank you so much. And I think there's a variant or two. Let me check. Oh, okay. This one has a little bit more shading. I think that's the only major difference there. And then this next one, okay, it just says Deltarune by fantastic work. Thank you so much for sharing. This is fantastic. Next, we have Sans versus the Angel by Joey. And Sans, it's a little comic, it's hand drawn, very impressive. Sans takes off a slipper, throws it at the angel, and it shatters and screams. Oh my god, that's hilarious. The deadliest weapon of them all, his slipper. He was holding back his true power in his fight in the genocide route. This is Sans taking off the power limiters. Oh my god. Very funny. Very cute. I quite like it. Thank you so much for sharing. Next, we have another Oberon Smog. This one from Alex. And oh my gosh, that is awesome. Hand drawn again, which is nuts. And just look at that. Like, that wicked, like, jaw. And those eyes, like, this is just so cool. I love this design. This is, and splitting up the 3 triangles with one on the chest and then the other 2 on the arms. That's so clever. That's awesome. This is great. I love this. You are very talented, Alex. I don't know if I've already said that this video, I've recorded this in several sessions over many hours, so I'm starting to forget the beginning of this video. But if I haven't said it already, you're very, very good at art. Thank you so much for sharing. This is fantastic. Next, we have a really cool pixel art from Wiccan, or Will, or something like that, whatever name you prefer. And this is the Hammer of Justice. I'm not sure, I forget now if this is meant to be the hammer that represents Oberon, or if this is Oberon's weapon. Either way, it looks awesome. The pixel art style is really cool. It's like kind of disintegrating at the bottom, maybe hinting at the fact that it's made in part from a lightener's dust. And then it's just this crazy hammer with the angel symbol in the center. Oh my god. And then like I think that's a save point symbol on like the flat end, like on the surface of the smashy side of the hammer. I don't know what you would call that. And then of course we have like a spear shape at the top, presumably the part that he uses for actually creating dark fountains. That's awesome. This is a wicked design. This is so cool. And it being this pinkish color is also just a great touch. I love that. This is so cool. Thank you so much for sharing. I love this. Very fun. Next, we... oh my god. This is another one from Brendan, and it's Sans getting stuck in another time loop. I control time too, haha. Sticks out tongue face. No, 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 no! And this crazy art style with like the glitchy Flowey who's like looking evil as all get out, and then Sans over here just looking crazy. Like, what a switch up in style! It looks so cool and crazy and unique. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing. This is insane. Like just all the details. This is nutty. Oh my god. Oh, and of course this is in reference to my time loop, or my Sans theory, of course. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. This is really good. Next, another one from is Des meets the spooky face. And oh god, whether this spooky face is Gaster or something else, it's the yellow and pink eyes with the big grin, and it says, "What a pleasure this is! The princess herself has come to seek my service." And Des is there looking all like cool, like, oh, like there's just like this chalk aesthetic to this whole thing, and it looks so cool. And Des is like, I think has like her guitar strung over her back. Oh my god, this is epic. And like his eyes look like dark vortexes. Oh my god, how are you this talented? Everything about this is epic and just so cool. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. This is really great. Another one from the same artist, and this is Oberon Smog and Deltarune Papyrus prepare for battle in the weird route. So this is like a blending of my lore, the Jaru verse with his own headcanon about Deltarune Papyrus, I believe, and it's obviously it's an animated GIF, them standing in like the snow or the rain, wind blowing fiercely. Yeah, very cool. Papyrus is like a cloaked figure, I guess, kind of like the river person, perhaps. And those are like dark fountains in the background. Interesting. And of course, Oberon Smog there, ponytail blowing in the wind, turtle shell, all that jazz. Fantastic. This is so much fun. I'm always impressed with artists like delving into animation. It's like, whoa, that's so cool. And the fact that you did it with Oberon is just that much more flattering. Thank you so much for sharing. This is awesome. Next, this is Des and Chris Theory fan art by MC or MYes on Twitter. And it says, "We are one and the same," in reference, of course, to my theory with the Chris's Des. We got Des holding her like save point, and it's like pinkish, and Chris reaching for theirs, which is just more gray or white. And just look at the art style on this. This is so unique. I love it. It's beautiful. Like the shading and the colors, the way it's reflecting off their faces, and the way you draw like their eyeline or like their eyebrows or the outline of their eyes. Like, that's so cool. It's so unique. And like Des has like hers is white while Chris's is red, which is such a fun contrast. And of course, she's wearing her lovely dress with that ribbon, which just looks great. And I love her hair, and I love Chris's hair too. This is so much fun. And we've got like these save point sparkles like going down the middle of the screen, splitting them in half. Oh my god, this is so awesome. I adore this. You are so talented. This is incredible. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. You're incredibly talented. Next, we've got another one from the person whose name I will someday learn how to pronounce, and it's another Oberon Smog and Papyrus piece. Of course, we see Oberon. Oh, and I think this is another hand-drawn. Crazy. And we've got Oberon without his helmet. Then he's got one with his helmet. And then you can see like Papyrus riding on a Gaster blaster, which looks really draconic and awesome. That's cool. And I think this cloaked figure must be the Papyrus. Oh, okay. And then you see a smiling Oberon in the bottom left. Oh, it's like a youthful, young, cheerful guy, aren't you? And then they have like a combo attack where he makes bones for Oberon to climb up and then presumably do a big, like, thrusting attack, or what do they call it in the Dark Souls series? The falling attack. It has some silly name. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, this looks great. And then we have and then Papyrus is holding a scythe made out of pure darkness. Oh my god, this is so much fun. Oh, and then at the top left it says Deltarune / Deltarune question mark. This is so much fun. You're so talented, and I love the designs and the expressions and the shading and everything. This is just so much fun. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, next one. This one from Eska's art. It's so heartwarming. I adore this. It's a celebration of me hitting 20,000 subs. And there's just so many amazing details here. Oh my god. Okay, in the top left we have Des just being the most adorable. Like, oh my god, she's so precious in your art style. That's I can't. I have to look away. Oh, and then like above the 20K, you can see like tons of little silhouettes of my subs. Then you have Oberon on the right, looking hilarious, like a dastardly little dork. Oh, and I think that's like a shadow crystal. And then like up above, there's something. Let me zoom in. Oh no, it's up above is Sans getting into the time machine. Oh no. And then, of course, right below that, the 20K, you could see Gaster, or Mystery Man, I should say. And then there's me, it's Jaru, it's Ganondorf, just holding it aloft. Look at that big boy, so adorable. You drew my avatar in such an amusing, like, so soft, so round. I love it. And on the left, we can see all the humans. We got Chris with their red eyes. Then we got just Kara hanging out, because I haven't actually done a Kara theory yet. I really need to get because I have one. Don't get me wrong. I have a pretty crazy Kara theory that I'm working on, but I really need to get one out. Something for 2023. Something to look forward to. Rules is Gaster, and Kara is... and then, of course, Chris is holding Asriel's soul, because that's the theory about them. And, of course, they all look adorable. Like, everyone you draw looks amazing. And then Dragon Susie, and then Flowey hanging out with Ralsei. And then we've got, like, stars and stuff in the back, I assume in reference to my multiverse theory. Oh, my God. Pure joy. Just pure delight. There's so much... This just makes me so happy. Like it's a shame that my voice can't communicate how much joy this brings me. It's beautiful. You are incredibly talented, and I'm incredibly honored to be blessed with such incredible art. Thank you so much, and thank you to all of you for helping me reach 20K subs. I hope I can continue to make content worthy of your time moving into 2023. The video is not over yet, despite what I'm sounding like, but I'm just getting real nostalgic now looking at this. It's so good. And I keep going back to Des because she's just so precious. Oh my god. I love this. Okay, we gotta move on, even though this is amazing. Thank you so much, Eskazart, for everything. You are unbelievably talented. Thank you again. Next, we have another Oberon from Night, another blonde one in the blonde catalog of, maybe it's Maybelline, Oberon Smog. This one's got like an interesting, like, pixel art, like, yeah, like it's like a unique shading style with like the little black boxes being used to represent the shadows. That's cool. That's a unique style. And then, of course, he's got his dagger ready to go make some dark fountains. Awesome. Very fun. You really liked making this Oberon with blonde hair thing for a while, huh? Not that I'm complaining. It's quite cool. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Here's another one from Night, and I think this is, oh yeah, this is another one celebrating just all my theories. Oh, thank you so much. At the top, we have the angel hovering above Des, looking all sad. Then you got Bone Man looking adorable on the left. Then you've got a Shadow Crystal holding Flowey, being looked at by Ralsei. Ooh. Then we got Dragon Susie in the top right, just enjoying life. She's like, the hills are alive. Then we got Mystery Man, Upside Down Gaster, looking hilarious. And then, oh, of course, we've got Chris with their demon horns and their white soul inside their red soul, looking fantastic. Love the hair and the lighting on that. Just the lighting on this in general is really cool. And then, of course, we have Oberon, just looking epic with their ridiculously long orangish hair, which may or may not be pink, but also may be blonde. I'm not sure. Regardless, this is fantastic. Thank you so much, Knight, and thank you for all the art that you've made for me over the past year or so. It's all been very flattering and very cool. I obviously don't deserve it, but it's been an honor nonetheless. Thank you so much for sharing. Here's another one from Knight. This one's titled Chris About to Commit Murder. And it's them with their green cape and devil horns, and this is another pixel art kind of aesthetic, which is always fun. And of course, their knife. They're probably not Jello knife. Oh my gosh. Very cool, very fun. I quite like it. The shading is... Gosh, how do you pump out so much art and it look this consistently good? Like you're not human either, are you? None of you are human. You're all robots. You're all robots who are fans of my show. I mean, I'm not complaining. I like robots. Robots are cool. Thank you very much, Knight. Oh, next, we've got a comic from Knight. It's, this was a comic they were working on, but they never actually, I think they decided to shelve the project. And so they only made like 2 panels. But they decided to share it, and I'm happy to show it off regardless. It's called the Jaruverse comic. We see Sans standing here in the foreground, looking at a dark fountain in the distance. Very cool. And then in the second panel, we zoom in a little closer, and it says, "It's starting." Very fun. And that's all there is of this comic thus far. If I don't know if they plan to continue it, and they don't have to at all. I'm more than satisfied with the sheer quantity of art Knight has already submitted. Thank you very much. This is a lot of fun. Speaking of which, like, eventually we'll get back to someone who's not Knight. And here we have Santa Bone Man. Oh my god, using his ribbon arms to hold up a present. Ugh, just looking adorable and festive. This is so much fun. Thank you very much, Knight. Bone Man looks adorable as always. Next, we have this is fun. This is actually a redraw of Chris, of one of their first fan arts, of Knight's first fan arts, of Chris after killing Azrael. And it's just looks fantastic. We've got Chris, the horns, and the green cape standing above the dusty pile of what remains of Azrael. Of course, their soul is glowing bright red. Very cool, very fun. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy that you've been making fan art for me so long that you thought redrawing like one of your earlier pieces, like you've grown that much as an artist in that time period. That's nuts. You're very talented, Knight. Thank you so much for sharing. Next, we have Dragon Susie from Baglarka Ribe? Maybe that might be how it's pronounced. Who knows? Hey, Chris, look, I'm a cool dragon now. Oh my god, look at this little blingo blongo dingo dongo scrunky blunky version of Susie. Just like, hey, it's me, Susie. I'm a little dude. Oh my god, I love it. She looks hilarious, and the wings look great, and the shading, like you, even on your sillier little doodle pieces, you still put so much effort into it. It's insane. You're crazy, and crazy talented. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, okay. Next, we get to a series of Des sprites from Night. They're on a bit of a rampage this month, aren't they? They might have actually submitted more art this month than they did last month. Okay, so the first one, we have Des here, long hair, looking cute as a button, pink dress, just fantastic. I love it. Then we have a second version. Oh, this one has the ribbons, just precious little cinnamon bun. I adore it. Thank you. And then it looks like, okay, so I think they made those first two sprites and then they submitted more later. There's a few more. We'll get to them in a minute, but these were the first two they submitted. She looks great. I adore it. She looked fantastic work, Night. Thank you so much for sharing. Next, I'll probably link, this is another video, I'll probably link it in the description. The title is Tortured, but Jaru J and Spampton Sing It, Friday Night Funkin' Mystiful Crimson Morning by Turn 7X on YouTube. Wow. I'm not super familiar with the Friday Night Funkin' game community, anything like that. It's a bit of a meme. I know that much. I don't know how big I don't know the lore of the community. But they made this. What I do know is they made this crazy, like, remix where they used like my reaction video to the Spampton Value Network hell and did like a remix of my reaction with into a song. It's crazy. It's so fun. I actually have watched it several times. It's very cool. I love it. I'll try to remember to link it down in the description. It's very funny. Very just hearing me be like, having the drop for the beat be saying this is hell is like it's so surreal and funny. Oh my god. Thank you very much for sharing. This was a delight to discover. Oh, and now we're back to the Des sprites. This is the third one. Obviously, this one's less cheerful. She's on her knees. She's in the staticky, darker yet darker. She's sad now. Her eyes are hidden. Just things aren't looking so good for everyone's favorite pink reindeer. Oh no. Is the next one? Oh, and here's another one. And this one is to demonstrate how bloody huge Des is compared to Noelle. Like, she's a giant. I love it. That's even better. I love the idea of this just colossal pink princess beating the snot out of Chris with a wiffle bat. That's a fantastic visual. Just this 12-foot tall Amazonian pink reindeer. Like, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing, Night. You are ridiculously talented. Like, I wish my little pathetic sprite of Des was even half as good as your work, or even a tenth as good. You're a mad lad. Next, we have another Des from Night. This one is on paper, and it's a sketch, and oh, be still my heart. She's so adorable. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, the hair, the dress, the little smile, the big eyes, the ribbons. Oh, and then I died. And then I choked to death on the cuteness. I could not survive. fantastic work. Even when hand drawn, you're still a mad lad. Insane. You're so talented. Thank you so much for sharing. And you got like little doodles on the margins. I can make them out. I think there's an Oberon in the bottom left, and Des, and maybe Noel or someone in the middle, and then Des holding his save point in the top left, and then someone's feet in the top right. Oh my god. You're insane. You're so good. I don't deserve it. It's so amazing. Thank you so much. And next we have Alex with another Des doodle, and this one, not doodle, that doesn't do it credit, a Des drawing, and this one is once again on it's hand drawn, and it's very dark, very gloomy, but still looking awesome. I love the hair. I love just the style of all of this. Very cool. Thank you very much for sharing, Alex. You've submitted quite a few yourself this video, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Oh, and here's another one from Burger. This is the Duskners. Happy New Year. And the Duskners is the name that has been, I guess, settled on for the Darkners made from the remains of Lightners. And this is their idea of what these characters look like. And of course, we have Oberon, Smog, and Rouse, the main ones for my theory. But then also we have their own headcanon. Like I said, they like to mix in their own AU stuff with it, which is fine by me. We've got the Darkner version of Des, which is fun. She's like holding champagne. That's fun. Oh yeah, and like the party poppers and the pink hair on Oberon. I love that. So many fun little details. And then we've got this like, you know, fish person mermaid who's like, I think they're supposed to be Chiron's sister. The Darkner based on Chiron's sister, that is. And then we have the Darkner based on Snowy's mom, Crystal, in the top right. She looks like she's having a grand old time. And then the bottom left, we have, I think this is the Darkner based off of Mutler, or is that their name? I don't remember now. But the dog who is in the graveyard, the Darkner of them, the Duskner, I should say. Fantastic. This is so, like, the background, the confetti, the little details, the faces, the colors, the shading, the character design. Amazing. Happy New Year to you as well, Boglarka Rebe. And of course, Happy New Year to all you beautiful folks at home as well. This is a fantastic piece. Oh my gosh. Is there any more? Or, oh, are we actually at the end? We are. Oh my gosh. Let me double check Twitter. Make sure there's no more last minute additions. Oh, Joey snuck in one more one more piece at the 11th hour. This one of Bone Man in a blue Santa style outfit with Christmas. Oh my god, like little Christmas light themed puppet strings holding like an icicle. He's got a snowflake on the shirt. And this is once again hand drawn. Fantastic. This is Bone Man Limited Holiday Edition. Thank you so much. And this is the actual final piece of art for this video. Oh my gosh. I had to split this recording up into 4 pieces because I just was so, I couldn't do it all in one go. So if the audio quality varies a little, that's why. There's so much I want to say and so much I don't, like, I want to thank all of you for supporting me this past year, being able to do YouTube like this, being able to, like, have enough success to actually make a little money and pay, like, it makes paying my bills so much less stressful, and it's all thanks to you guys. And you know, I obviously I do this, and I started doing this not for money, because obviously YouTube doesn't. When I first made a Deltarune videos last year, I wasn't making anything. I just did it because I was, you know, passionate about the theories and the project, and you know, I obviously when I started making money, that was amazing, but I wouldn't have been able to keep up this production, keep making videos, like a video per month. I've made a video per month for over a year, which is insane. I haven't done that since my Death Battle days. Like, that's how passionate I am for this game and for this community and just making all this content. And it really means the world to me to be able to do this for y'all. Obviously, yeah, it's amazing. All this art was amazing. I hope that my exhaustion didn't make it feel like I wasn't appreciative of the work you guys have done and the amazing, talented artists in this community. It's been an honor, and like I said, I hope I can continue to make content worthy of your time moving into 2023. One day I'm going to finish with Deltarune. One day my final Deltarune video will come up. I don't know when. Might not be till like 2026, who knows. But, when that day comes, I'll probably lose most of you guys. And I don't regret that. I'm not gonna cry over that. What's that saying? It's like, don't cry because it's gone, be happy, smile because it happened, that sort of thing. Not to be melodramatic, but it's like, I know that this is a short time, a brief, fleeting time in my life, but I just want to make it clear that I appreciate it while it's here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday. And I'm hoping to get some more incredible Deltarune content for you guys. Not just fan art showcases. I didn't do any like theories or anything this month because I was recovering from exhaustion and such. I was just kind of on break. But next month I'm hoping to get back onto that train and make you guys some entertaining Deltarune stuff to hold you over until the next chapter comes out, or the next few chapters. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I hope that you have an equally incredible new year. Here's to 2023, and I hope that you all are doing well. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you've got something to say, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, have a fantastic day.